Hey guys, Cassandra Starseed. Tonight I'm going to be sharing something really good with you. I think that something everyone should have to read. I graduated in '07, and I have to tell you that the crap that they made us read in school was such a waste of tax-paying dollars. And I wish that I had had access to this a long time ago, but it's only now coming out a leaked translation. So I'm going to read this translation for you of Thoth's Emerald Tablets. I've looked at all of the translations on the internet, and there seemed to be only one, the one that was leaked from the woman that translated it. And they're not, I've looked at them all and compared them, and they're all the same. So, or at least the ones I've stumbled across are all exactly the same. So I printed this off. It was translated by a woman named 𝒠𝒉𝓁, Supreme Voice of the Brotherhood of Light. And I'm not going to read you the introductions and stuff, because if you're really that interested in it, you can go online and look for, just Google search the Emerald Tablets of 𝒯𝒃𝓁𝓁𝒶𝓃𝓉 in PDF, and you can print it off like I did. I printed it off, put it in a binder, and obviously I'm saving it for my kids and stuff and everyone else that wants to hear it. And I'm mostly doing this video because there is another guy on YouTube who has read this translation in a 4-hour video for everyone, and it has like over 150,000 views, and I feel really bad because the guy is an idiot. He hasn't done the studies of adepts, and he doesn't know. And he mocks a lot of it, which just made me so mad to hear someone so clueless reading it. But maybe he was meant to, and maybe he, is, obviously, like, he is on the path too, so he's gonna have to come to his own stuff. But I thought you guys might enjoy hearing it from someone who actually knows what they're talking about. So, I'm gonna start with Emerald Tablet 1, The History of Thoth the Atlantean. I, Thoth the Atlantean, master of the mysteries, keeper of records, mighty king, magician, living from generation to generation, being about to pass into the halls of 𝒯𝒃𝓁𝓁, set down for the guidance of those that are to come after these records of the mighty wisdom of great Atlantis. In the great city of 𝒃𝓒𝓒, on the island of 𝒯𝓂𝓒, in a time far past, I began this incarnation, not as the little men of the present age did, the mighty ones of Atlantis, live and die, but rather from aeon to aeon did they renew their life in the halls of 𝒯𝒃𝓁𝓁, where the river of life flows eternally onward. 100 times 10 have I descended the dark way that led into light, and as many times have I ascended from the darkness into light, my strength and power renewed. Now for a time I descend, and the men of 𝒃𝓁 shall now know me no more. But in a time yet unborn I will rise again, mighty and potent, requiring an accounting of those left behind me. Then beware, O men of 𝒃𝓁, if ye have falsely betrayed my teaching, for I shall cast ye down from your high estate into the darkness of the caves from whence ye came. Betray not my secrets to the men of the north, or the men of the south. Let my curse fall upon ye. Remember and heed my words, for surely I will return again and require of thee that which ye guard. I, even from beyond time and from beyond death, will I return, rewarding or punishing as ye have requited your trust. Great were my people in the ancient days, great beyond the conception of the little people around me now, knowing the wisdom of old, seeking far within the heart of the infinity knowledge that belonged to earth's youth. Wise were we, with wisdom of the children of light, who dwelt among us. Strong were we, with the power drawn from the eternal fire. And of all these, greatest among the children of men was my father, 𝒃𝓁, keeper of the great men who inhabited the 10 islands, mouthpiece of the 3, of the dweller of 𝒯𝓄𝓒, speaking to the kings with the voice that must be obeyed. Grew I there from a child into manhood, being taught by my father the elder mysteries, until in time there grew within me the fire of wisdom, until it burst into a consuming flame. Not desired I, but the attainment of wisdom, until on a great day the command came from the dweller of the temple that I be brought before him. Few there were among the children of men who had looked upon that mighty face and lived. For not as the sons of men are the children of light, when they are not incarnate into a physical body. Chosen was I from the sons of men, taught by the dweller so that his purposes might be fulfilled. Purposes yet unborn in the womb of time. Long ages I dwelt in the temple, learning ever and yet more wisdom, until I too approached the light, emitted from a great fire. Taught me he the path to 𝒯𝒃𝒷𝓁𝒶𝓃, the underworld where the great king sits upon the throne of might. Deep I bowed into homage before the lords of before the lords of life and the lords of death, receiving as my gift the key of life. Free was I of the halls of 𝒯𝒃𝒷𝓁𝒶𝓃, bound not by death to the circle of life. Far into the stars I journeyed, until space and time became as naught. Then, having drunk deep the cup of wisdom, I looked into the hearts of men, and there I found greater mysteries, and was glad. For only in the search for truth could my soul be stilled, and the flame within be quenched. Down through the ages I lived, seeing those around me taste the cup of death and return again in the light of life. Gradually, from the kingdoms of Atlantis, passed waves of consciousness that had been one with me, only to be replaced by a spawn of a lower star. In obedience to the law, the word of the Master grew into flower. Downward into his darkness turned the thoughts of the Atlanteans, until at last, in his wrath, arose from his 𝒂𝓁, the dweller. This word has no English equivalent. It means a state of detachment. Speaking the word, calling the power, deep in earth's heart, the sons of 𝒯𝒃𝒷𝓁𝒶𝓃 heard, and hearing, directed the changing of the flower of fire that burns eternally, changing and shifting, using the logos, until that great fire changed its direction. Over the world then broke the great waters, drowning and sinking, changing earth's balance, until only the Temple of Light was left, standing on the great mountain on 𝒯𝒃𝓁𝓈, still rising out of the water. Some there were who were living, saved from the rush of the fountains. Called to me then the Master, saying, Gather ye together my people, take them by the arts ye have learned far across the waters, until ye reach the land of the hairy barbarians, dwelling in the caves of the desert. Follow there the plan that ye know of. Gathered I then my people, and entered into the great ship of the Master. Upward we rose into the morning. Dark beneath us lay the temple. Suddenly over it rose the waters, vanished from earth until the time appointed was the great temple. Fast fled we toward the sun of the morning, until beneath us lay the land of the children of 𝒃𝓐, and 𝒃𝓐 in this case is referring to Egypt. Raging, they came with cudgels and spears, lifted in anger, seeking to slay the children of 𝒃𝓐, and utterly destroy the sons of Atlantis. Then raised I my staff and directed a ray of vibration, striking them still in their tracks as fragments of stone of the mountain. Then spoke I to them in words calm and peaceful, telling them of the might of Atlantis, saying that we were the children of the sun and its messengers. Cowed I them by my display of magic science, until at my feet they groveled when I released them. Long dwelt we in the island of 𝒃𝓐, long and yet long again, until obeying the commands of the Master, who while sleeping lives eternally. I sent from me the sons of Atlantis, sent them in many directions, that from the womb of time wisdom might rise again in her children. Long time dwelt I in the land of 𝒃𝓐, doing great works by the wisdom within me. Upward grew into the light of knowledge the children of 𝒃𝓐. Watered by the rains of my wisdom, blasted I then a path to 𝒯𝒃𝒁𝒃, so that I might retain my powers. Living from age to age, a son of Atlantis, keeping the wisdom, preserving the records. Great grew the sons of 𝒶𝒹, conquering the people around them, growing slowly upwards into the soul force. Now for a time I go from among them into the dark halls of 𝒯𝒃𝒁𝒃, deep in the halls of earth, before the lords of the powers, face to face once again with the dweller. Long dwelt we in the land of 𝒶𝒹, long and yet long again, until obeying the commands of the Master, who while sleeping yet lives eternally, I sent from me the sons of Atlantis, sent them in many directions, that from the womb of time wisdom might rise again in her children. Long time dwelt I in the land of 𝒶𝒹, doing great works by the wisdom within me. Upward grew into the light of knowledge the children of 𝒶𝒹, watered by the rains of my wisdom. Blasted I then a path to 𝒯𝒃𝒁𝒃, so that I might retain my powers, living from age to age, a son of Atlantis, keeping the wisdom, preserving the records. So that's pretty self-explanatory. Grew great the sons of 𝒶𝒹, conquering the people around them, growing slowly upwards into the soul force. Now for a time I go among them into the dark halls of 𝒯𝒃𝒁𝒃, down deep into the halls of earth, before the lords of the powers, face to face once again with the dweller. Raised I high over the entrance a doorway, a gateway, leading down to 𝒯𝒃𝒁𝒃. Few there would be with the courage to dare it, few to pass the portal into dark 𝒯𝒃𝒁𝒃. Raised over the passage I, a mighty pyramid, using the power that overcomes earth force, gravity. Deep and yet deeper placed I a force house or chamber. From it carved I a circular passage, reaching almost to the great summit. There in the apex set I the crystal, sending the ray into the time-space, drawing the great force from out of the ether, concentrating upon the gateway to 𝒯𝒃𝒁𝒃. So I think in that sense that because Thoth built the pyramids, or so he says, and I believe that, because if you've ever seen the impossibilities, I mean, man couldn't have built the pyramids. All of the cases where they say that man built the pyramids, they leave out a lot of information. They pitch their case. Oh, Chadwick, you stink. My cat. They pitch the case that all these slaves built the pyramids, but they neglect to show you that, I mean, just the entrance into the pyramids has the rooms in the pyramids are like carved from these, they're like a giant megalithic sized block, way bigger than the ones at Stonehenge, and they make up these rooms. And I mean, the blocks entering the pyramids are equally as big. They're monolithic size. Men couldn't have moved those blocks. The only way they could have happened is if, like, okay, there is a magic that comes later in these that is talked of in spirit science and stuff like that. They don't say what it is in spirit science, but they do say that Thoth thought, the way I can put this into words is, thought up the pyramids in the 4th or 5th dimension, and then consciously dropped them here to the 3rd dimension. And that magic science is spoken of in these tablets. So you will get to learn more about that. But that is how I believe the pyramids were built. And I think that the pyramids that he's talking about right now work the same way that kind of 𝒉𝒂𝓐 does, because he talks about how he made them to basically draw in the ether energy, and that's what 𝒉𝒂𝓐 does. So I was so blown away when I read these for the first time that, like, I mean, because I make 𝒉𝒂𝓐, so it's so interesting to actually get to link this all together and have it all make sense. So, okay. And I'm not going to lie, at the bottom of this page, for some reason, there was a print error, but I know pretty much what it says anyway, so I'll just tell you. Okay. The gateway. Okay. Other chambers I built and left vacant, all to all seeming. Yet hidden within them are the keys to 𝒯𝒃𝒁𝒁. He who in courage would dare the dark realms, let him be purified first. And this is where it cuts off on this one little sentence, but he basically talks about fasting for 3 days before you go do this ritual. Soon shall he follow to where I shall meet him. Even in darkness of earth I shall meet him. I, Thoth, the Lord of wisdom, meet him and hold him and dwell with him always. And it's funny because the first time my husband and I saw this medium we used to go see, we were first finding our connection with Thoth because we had just started reading Crowley's works and stuff like that. And we were asking her all these questions, and she said, Thoth is with you always. No shit, that's what she said. So, and she didn't know really anything about what we were talking about. It's just that she channels the information, so she doesn't have to actually know it. It just comes to her, what we need. So it was interesting to have her say that to me almost a year ago, and then to read it in the Emerald Tablets. Thoth is with you always. So, built I the Great Pyramid, patterned after the pyramid of earth force, burning eternally so that it too might remain through the ages. In it I built my knowledge of magic science, so that it might be here when again I return from 𝒯𝒃𝒁𝒁. I, while I sleep in the halls of 𝒯𝒃𝒁𝒁, my soul roaming free will incarnate, dwell among men in this form or another, Hermes thrice born. Emissary of on earth am I of the dweller, fulfilling his command so man might be lifted. Now return I to the halls of 𝒯𝒃𝒁𝒁, leaving behind me some of my wisdom. Preserve ye and keep ye the command of the dweller. Lift ever upwards your eyes toward the light. Surely in time ye are one with the master. Surely by right ye are one with the master. Surely by right ye are one with all. Now I depart from ye, know my commands, keep them and be them. And I will be with you, helping and guiding you into the light. Now before me opens the portal, go I down into the darkness of night. And that concludes Tablet 1. So, let's see, how many pages is Tablet 2? It's only 3 pages. Alright, so I guess I will do Tablet 2 tonight. I might not be able to finish all of the tablets before I head to 𝒯𝒃𝒁𝒁 this week, because there's like 13 regular tablets and then a bunch of supplementary tablets, and I'm leaving for 𝒯𝒃𝒁𝒁 on Friday, or Saturday morning at like 3 a.m., and I'll be gone for 15 days. So if I don't get all of the tablets on here before then, I mean, you guys can go on YouTube and listen to them from somewhere else and come back to me later if you want, or you can wait until I get back and I'll finish them up. But I will try and get as many on as I can before I go to 𝒯𝒃𝒁𝒁, okay? And if you guys have any questions, let me know, okay? Alright, so I'll start Tablet 2 in a few minutes after I take a little break and go get some water.